Yo guys, welcome back to the Transfer Daily YouTube channel, and we are back today bringing you all the latest updates from the football transfer market, and starting off then with a story we talked about a few days ago, and that is Juan Sanchez and Napoli. And Napoli have submitted the new bid to Sevilla for €40 million. And as I said, there's a feeling that a deal around €50 million could be agreed. So the new bid for Napoli, talks remain ongoing. Let's see if they can reach an agreement on that. And there's also a 10% sell-on clause, which the club always wanted for Sanchez. So let's wait and see if this one advances. But Napoli prepared. This could be the last bid for Sanchez. After Real Madrid's exit from the Club World Cup last night, then, as we know now, Luka Modric will become an AC Milan player. The agreement was in place in June that after the Club World Cup he would join AC Milan as a free agent after leaving Real Madrid after over a decade at the club. So he will join up with the team. Let's see if he has a holiday and rest as probably expected before he joins, but he'll join AC Milan on a contract as a free agent for until June 2026. A story then that you get the feeling is going to be a big one in the next weeks is Rodrygo from Real Madrid. And in the last 5 games, for a player of his quality, he hasn't started in the Club World Cup, which sends a strong message from Xavi Alonso towards his intentions. So Rodrygo is expected for talks about his future next week, with obviously clubs monitoring the situation. Currently, Saudi isn't an option for Rodrygo, as he prefers to stay in Europe if he does leave. Real Madrid have a valuation around €80 million, but Real Madrid are open to the exit if Rodrygo decides to leave. And let's wait and see if Real Madrid did replace him. At the moment, it doesn't seem as if they will, but we know Rodrygo is the dream target for Arsenal, as Arsenal are working on a deal for Noni Madueke. But also Liverpool could be one to watch, because I spoke about Liverpool over the last few years with Rodrygo, so the appreciation is definitely there from them. If Luis Diaz leaves as well, let's wait and see if Liverpool do move. But you get the feeling that Rodrygo's future will be decided in the next week or so, if he leaves Real Madrid or if he stays. Matteo Retegui then is set to join Al Qadsiya on a permanent transfer from Atalanta. And for Al Qadsiya, we know Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is set to terminate his contract and leave, as because a plan for the Saudi club this summer was to sign a younger striker. And they tried to sign Moise Kean, but Moise Kean rejected the proposal. So they moved on to Retegui, and there is an agreement in place with Atalanta for €67 million package with add-ons included. And Retegui has an agreement on personal terms for a 6-year deal. So top goal scorer of Serie A last season, set to join Al Qadsiya. Hugo Ekitike then, and new club with interest, and that is Newcastle United. So Newcastle have interest in Ekitike this summer. We know they were looking into the João Pedro deal, as they are looking for a top class striker as a backup potentially. Let's wait and see what happens with Isaac. But Ekitike is a player they are keen on, and the Ekitike interest from Newcastle was actually there 2 years ago as well from their point of view. So he's one of the top options after the João Pedro deal didn't happen. But as we know, João Pedro also had interest from Chelsea. Let's wait and see if Chelsea do move, because we know how Chelsea are. Liverpool also as well, but Liverpool are waiting for the Darwin Núñez to happen before we move on a striker. So let's wait and see. Obviously, it's tough to convince players like Pedro and Ekitike to join when you've got Alexander Isak at the club, etc. So let's wait and see what Newcastle do on all the latest club to show interest in Ekitike. After Jamal Musiala's horrific injury recently, Bayern Munich have sent a new inquiry for Xavi Simons. And Xavi Simons is a player who we know can leave this summer. Leipzig, after Leipzig do want to make a profit on what they paid for him in January, and interest from clubs hasn't really been there. Strong interest anyway. There's been a few clubs who have contacted, but nothing more. And Xavi Simons, though, has always been a real option for Bayern Munich this summer, because, as we know, about 2 months ago, it was Wirtz as plan A, then Simons as plan B, but Bayern look to have gone off for a left winger. Let's wait and see. But the Simons option could be reactivating now after the Musiala injury. So Simons is high up on the list for Bayern Munich. So let's wait and see if they make a move after a new inquiry has been sent. But one to watch for Bayern Munich. Tottenham Hotspur then are considering making a move for Wissa with a separate deal from Mohamed Kudus. And Brentford's position is they do not want to sell. As we know, Manchester United remain in negotiations over Brian Mbeumo, and they've obviously lost a manager, but we do know Thomas Frank, former Brentford manager, is the current manager at Tottenham, so that could play a big part, as talks have already taken place on the player side, with Wissa being keen on a move to Tottenham and to reunite with Thomas Frank. But an approach is expected to Brentford from Tottenham Hotspur after the Kudus deal to see the availability and the details on a potential deal. So one to watch, as Tottenham could sign another forward. Mohamed Kudus then is set to join Tottenham Hotspur on a permanent transfer from West Ham. And for Tottenham, around a week ago they made contact, and now he is going to have his medical very soon and will sign in as a new Tottenham player. And for Kudus, it was only Tottenham. He had interest from Chelsea, also from Saudi. He was very keen on the move to Tottenham, and an agreement is in place for a £55 million package, so not a bad fee at all for Kudus. And Kudus will sign a 6-year deal, but this one expected to be made official at the end of this week, or at the latest early next week for Kudus. But Mohamed Kudus will join Tottenham Hotspur on a permanent transfer.